you may have woken up today and went and checked and saw Bitcoin was down. Right now it's coming in at 110,000 nope, $109,467 is where it's at right now at this moment. You may be wondering, why did that happen? Well, you know what? I'm so glad you asked. We're going to take a look at something that is going to probably explain a little bit about why it's so bearish today, but tomorrow it could go either way. So let's take a look here. We're going to go to CoinGecko. Here we go. All right. Let's look at the numbers. First, we've got 3.87 trillion in market cap. It's down pretty good, not a huge amount, but it is down 2.4%, keeping it under that $4 trillion. Hold on, let me get rid of this. I don't know why. There, just leave that. 24-hour volume to 118 billion. If you remember, yesterday it was 133 billion, so much shorter, as you can see, or much lower. Bitcoin dominance 56.3% and ETH at 13.5%. We really want to see ETH make a charge against this Bitcoin number. That's what we want right now, because I'm telling you, like, trading Bitcoin is difficult at all times. That's why only few traders win, as you guys know. But when you have tools like Cipher, which is a sponsor of the channel now, it helps you kind of cheat sheet and take some shortcuts to be able to learn how to trade. There's a lot of variables that go into the Bitcoin price, more than just you may think. So we're going to talk about why everything is bearish today first here. And then we're going to take a look at an XRP article. You did it. We did it. That'll make sense in a few minutes. But as far as this goes, crypto markets today, there's a bearish sentiment, and it strengthens ahead of U.S. jobs and options expiry. So both Bitcoin and the CoinDesk 20, which is an index of many of the top coins, are all down. The only coin that was not down was XRP, and it was only up 0.1% when the article was written. So, and I have got a long on myself right now. I'm just going to keep a little track of here. All right. Bitcoin is lower than it was 24 hours ago, down about 0.7%, but still firmly within the range that is constrained it since the last week of August. The decline become a little more pronounced since midnight with a drop of 0.9%. This explains what I already talked about. The only one that CoinDesk has on their index that was up was XRP. The negative sentiment is echoed in the options and perpetual futures market. Funding rates have dropped, and put options or protection against price declines dominate over calls. More than $4.5 billion is set to expire tomorrow. And I tend to think that we're going to see a big boost here pretty soon, whether it's going to be next week or maybe some crazy trading action over the weekend. But $4.5 billion in options is set to expire on Deribit. Open interest is tilted towards puts, with notable clustering around 105 to 110,000 strikes. We've been in that range. We've been out of that range a little bit, but we keep going right back into it. Bitcoin derivatives positioning has cooled. Activity still there, however, but it's looking stagnant. Open interest in perpetual futures dropped from 33 billion to about 30 billion. So these are things that drop. Usually we'll see the volume drop as well, especially the bullish volume. Same time, the 3-month annualized basis keeps compressing to roughly 5 to 6%. Options data is sending mixed signals. So the options are not being very reliable right now. Let's see, $225 million in 24-hour liquidations, with a 50-50 split between longs and shorts. And then you've got showing you the ETH number, which is much higher than the Bitcoin number for liquidations. So, and that makes sense because Ethereum is harder to trade than Bitcoin for sure, no doubt about it. But we're hoping that something's going to happen here soon to send us back upwards, which would be not next week. It's about 2 weeks from now, a little under 2 weeks. We're going to find out about those rate cuts, and that's I think there's no way it's not bullish after that. There's no way it's not bullish. It will definitely be bullish. I think that makes sense, even though that was a double negative. Weird. Of course, news on WL5 Worldfi, the Trump coin, slumped to a record low of 17.4 cents. So the long and the short of it is okay, you're a crypto trader. Okay. You aren't a person that's into the institutions and the institutional numbers. Uh, you may be really, really bullish and people may be really bullish, but the institutional market and the institutional numbers are what actually drive the price. So, these conversations are kind of boring sometimes. We're always talking about the calls and the puts and the longs and the shorts on derivatives. You have to understand that really is what is absolutely driving the market. So, when they're telling you this is going to be bearish or it's bearish right now, it means expectations tomorrow are not great. Why would people want to be, get caught upside down? Nobody, well, there are people that like to be caught upside down. I guess that's a long story though. Okay, so we've got that going on. Now, I do want to show you this story real quick before we go and look at all the numbers. XRP Army credited with helping Ripple tilt the case against the SEC. I guess that's us. I don't know why we're aliens, but Ripple's legal battle with the SEC concluded with a mixed ruling impacting the classification of XRP as a security. The XRP Army's efforts were acknowledged by both Ripple lawyers and the judge as influential in the case outcome. And of course, it reached an all-time high before going back down to 285. The XRP Army has long claimed to be more than just a retail crowd, which is true. I don't know why they all they want to do is show me this stupid Sergey Nazarov interview. I don't know why they want to show me that so bad. John Deaton said that anybody that denied the XRP Army's role is either ignorant of the facts and truth or intentionally lying. Judge Annalisa Torres cited Deaton's filings, which include 70,000 XRP holders or so, including myself, and also an argument he made in the library SEC case, which they didn't have enough money to fight, so they basically lost, I believe, if I remember that correctly. But something came out of that was good. There were a lot of good things that came out of that. And their fine got dropped from like 20 million to $1 million and stuff like that. But executives inside Ripple agree. Deborah McCrimmon, Ripple's deputy general counsel, told the Penta podcast on Monday that the XRP Army's unpaid research was invaluable. Ripple had leaned on a fair notice defense, arguing the SEC failed to give clarity on how crypto law applied. So that's really, really interesting, because this is saying that, even though we may all be aliens, this might be me up here in the front. As you can see, all these other aliens back here, that's you and the Bit Squad and the XRP Army. The fact is, what we do is important. What these communities we create on YouTube and on Twitter, and I don't mean just we, like the Bit Squad, but content creators in general, you guys can do stuff. There are actually things that you can do to make a big impact. And everybody that signed that, John Deaton's, God, I cannot remember what it's called. Cannot remember what that is called. The filing that he had with the SEC in the case, and then the one that had 70,000 people sign it. I mean, I think it is very obvious that played a difference or made a big difference. So you guys keep that in mind. Everything is, it's not just the institutions that matter. It's us. But the difference is the institution is one big alien and we're all these little aliens. Aliens. Okay. Guys, don't forget, Market Cipher is a new sponsor of the channel, and also Phemex is now also a sponsor on the channel, as they were before. So we're excited about that. Welcome them on. We'll show, where trades may be going. I think mine's about even here. I'm down $13 right now at this point. But remember, you guys can. I've got a link for Market Cipher in the description now. It's very important. You guys want to check out Market Cipher? It's the best trading tool on the planet for sure. Just go down to my description or to the tweet. This goes out on Twitter, I believe, or X, whatever you want to call it. Click that link. Check out Market Cipher. See if you like it. You also get access to Crypto Faces Discord. So let's kind of take a look at Bitcoin right now. You can tell that I've been looking to trade because I've got the 17-minute pulled up. We'll start with the daily. And look, the thing is, Ethereum is the play right now. We're going to look at Bitcoin, look at the Ethereum price a little bit later. But in my opinion, I do think it's very important to catch a big Ethereum move because it could be a massive move. it could be a really massive move when it finally happens. That $5,000 has been such resistance psychologically and on the charts. We can't get above that no matter how hard we try. And it feels like it's about to happen, and we'll be showing you why with the help of Blackrock. So here we are on the daily chart. I got the volume profile pulled up. It's showing a very low control point here of 109,000. Oh man, that's tough. That's the point of control. We would like to see this a little bit. Well, let's actually stretch it out and it'll change. Let's see. Let's get the last month or two. So there you go. And you can see the point of control up here around $118,000, right where we have one of our lines. So right now, the reason why I went long on Bitcoin is basically right here. Here it is. Are we on Heikenhashis? We're on Heikenhashis. Let's go back to the regular candles. And you can see that I had drawn this line, and on the daily chart, it doesn't really show up that well. Let's click down to the 4-hour chart and get a look at this thing. And you can see this is a line I drew a few days ago, and I said, hey, I think it's going to come hit this and make this act as support. And that's what it's done. Now, is this a higher low or a lower high? That depends. Is this a higher high or a lower high? That's a good question. It depends on if you count this down here as its own trading act or trading range here. It went up and down, but not very much. It barely moved. So you're looking now here at the line I have here, and you can see it has clearly bounced off of that. And if we were to go down here and look at market Cipher B as well, pull it up a little bit. You can see that the RSI on that is still facing in the downward direction. But just keep this in mind. It only takes one candle for this to jut back up. That's how I got caught yesterday on a long, because it looked like everything was going up, and then the next hour just went the opposite way. So we also have market Cipher A. I like to use market Cipher B with no indicators up here, just because, as you'll see, it's so much to look at. It's got a red X above this line, but this is the 4-hour chart. So, certainly we've seen, it can go from a red X to a green dot pretty easily. But I still think this is a strong line, and I'm counting on this to hold here, right here. And we'll see if it doesn't. It is what it is, but it looks like it's trying to turn that into support, and maybe it will, maybe it won't. Look at the hourly chart. Yeah, and let's go ahead and turn that off here. Okay. So you see the same thing, and you look up here and you see it's not quite touching the lines here. It's not a perfect one, because I could go from right here. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. The smaller time frame we look at, the more that a little bitty tiny line is going to look like. It's going to show up a gap in between my line and the candles here. But I still feel pretty strong about this, strong enough for me to actually put a trade in Bitcoin right now. Coming in at 109,450. I got it at like 109.3, I think is what it was, something like that. So we'll see. And don't forget, guys, Phemex is the best place to trade. It's absolutely the best place to trade. Got a link for it. They are a sponsor on the channel. Got a link down below. We got big news. We've got a trading competition coming up. So if you have not got your Palau ID, if you have not signed up for Phemex, make sure that you do that. And also, we do have another link for another trading platform, Bydfi. If you just can't get a Palau ID because I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that, we have a link there. It's no KYC and no VPN required. So you could really just sign up there, start trading. The best thing to do is to go get your Palau ID, which is rns.id here. I'll show you guys. rns.id. Okay. And go here and get your well, you guys see here. I have mine available. You guys can see there it is. Expiration date on my legal DID, but my legal DID. My Palau ID, I still have a couple of weeks, a couple of months actually. So I need to get that renewed. But this is the way that you can trade on sites like Phemex. So the best thing to do, sign up for Bydfi today. If you do not have a trading account, sign up. Get your Palau ID. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks for you to get it, the physical copy, which you need. And then as soon as that, come back here, go to the link with Phemex and sign up, and you can join our trading competition. If you sign up today, I think we're going to start the trading competition in maybe a week or so. So if you sign up for the Palau ID, you probably won't get it in time to do our trading competition. So hopefully if you got another way to KYC or you're international and you can use Phemex, make sure to do that. So you can see right now I'm up $56. This is really good. I'm very bullish on that. Very, very bullish on $56. So there you go. Okay. So let's talk about Ethereum. And guys, Ethereum, I'm telling you, it is just locked in this range. Look at this range, even on a logarithmic chart, that it has stayed in. And we've got these different bands. You can see what they equate to over here. Maximum bubble territory would be right there. If it were to hit the maximum bubble territory, I think it said it would flash up to like $12,000 or something. Let's see, what did I just say here? $5,900. If it were to go 7,304 on the top band. So if we could just get Ethereum to go up to this band right here, man, that sure would be great. That would be a place where we would see Ethereum really get above $5,000. And I think that that's very possible. Guys, the whales are just playing with us. Let's read this article, but the whales are playing with us with Ethereum. There's one line in here that is just so important for you guys to understand. It's at the very end, so we'll cover it at the very end. Okay, and I am trying to, you guys know, I'm trying to get the hang of this again. It's been a long time since I've been live streaming. And so, you know, I'm not putting out other videos right now, but I'm going to probably change that in the near future. I'm going to have a little bit better of a setup, and, you know, we'll be able to make money in crypto better than everybody else, like we always do on this channel. The numbers bear it out. The numbers bear it out. If you go look at all the coins that we were pushing for the last 2 years, they are some of the major coins in crypto, including SWI, of course, as a great pick of ours, but several other big ones. Okay. All right. So let's look at the article. The Ethereum rainbow chart logarithmic regression model designed to track ETH's long-term growth trajectory has outlined a projected price spectrum for September 30th. So where is this going to be here? The outlook comes as Ethereum attempts to reclaim all-time highs, reaching a record price of nearly $5,000. According to the chart, Ethereum could trade as low as $1,947 if it falls into the fire sale down here range. However, 21,100 if it enters maximum bubble territory, which I think, I tell you, 21,000, I think it can get there. We'll look at the end of this. I'll show you guys why. But the ETH price analysis currently is trading at 43.80. It's nice to look at numbers, but then you got to come back to the real world where the numbers actually are. And that is here, 43.67. But this is it, guys. This is so big. In this regard, the asset is attracting growing interest from major firms such as Blackrock, which has accelerated its Ethereum purchases in 2025, outpacing its Bitcoin acquisitions. So Ethereum is buying more Ethereum, or BlackRock is buying more Ethereum than it's buying Bitcoin. That's very, very, very important, because at some point that is going to matter. Okay, just like we saw, for years and years we talked about these ETFs, and if they got approved, what would happen? And what happened? Everything we said happened, actually. You know, like I said back in 2018, it would eventually get approved. It got approved. and the numbers went through the roof. But then Ethereum basically went back and did the same thing that Bitcoin was doing, and or in terms of the ETF, and it didn't do what Bitcoin did. The institutions were doing what they did with Bitcoin. They were buying a bunch of Ethereum, but the price has not really popped. We have still not seen an all-time high. Well, that's not true. We barely saw an all-time high by like $100 or something. Barely saw an all-time high for Ethereum, whereas Bitcoin is trading, golly, at one point almost, well, I guess like 80% up, something like that, and Ethereum is like 1% up. Ethereum has such a strong use case, and the Trump family is building on Ethereum. Everything they're doing is attached to Ethereum, except for Melania's NFT that they did a couple of years ago. So you got to understand that when these institutions are buying, the price is going to go up. And if we were in a place where I really felt strongly that we were at the top of the market, then this would not be true. But I don't think we are at the top of the market. I think we're going to see everything bounce back as soon as we get these rate cuts. We may not get as big of a jump as some people want, but I do believe we are going to get a jump. Jerome Powell said things are going to be rebalanced, and risk assessment, they're taking a look at that. That means that as an individual investor, you should be taking a look at your risk assessment too. And I think that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin by a lot. I think by a lot here pretty soon. So let's check out some other stories. Wintermute urges the SEC to exclude network tokens from security rules. So we're seeing more and more things trying to make the crypto markets here in the US better and easier to trade in. So they want to exclude network tokens from security rules. And what is Ethereum's network token? Ethereum. It is its own token, actually. So some have other tokens, but the SEC, let's see, trading company and market maker Wintermute asked the US SEC to confirm that network tokens should not be classified as securities. In formal feedback, the company said clear guidance on security status of tokens is necessary to avoid the misapplication of securities laws. Wintermute said that network tokens, which are intrinsically connected to the functioning of a decentralized network or protocol, are necessary technical inputs for blockchain networks. Because of this, the company said they fundamentally differ from financial products or securities. So there you go. Let's check, see what's going on here. We've got 122 comments. We got 1,856 people watching the stream today, more than yesterday. Appreciate you guys for tuning in on Twitter. We're no longer looking at YouTube as our main place for videos. Twitter and YouTube, we're now giving, and I say we, it's just me, I'm giving equal love to both now, finally, as we are live streaming on Twitter as well. We get a lot of comments. We get a lot of stuff on Twitter. Get more views on Twitter than we get on YouTube. So that's important. So, all right. Ondo is one project that we were on from the very, very, very beginning. Ondo Finance launches tokenized U.S. stocks on Ethereum. Wow. Who would have thought? Qualified investors outside the U.S. can now trade tokenized U.S. equities on the Ethereum blockchain, which plans to expand support for BNB Chain and Solana. So look, Solana is going to be big at some point. BNB Chain, I kind of put it in its own category, but I don't really know who is obsessed with BNB coins other than just really degenerate traders. But Solana going to at some point going to be able to trade U.S. stocks on there. But this is big. You have CZ owned Trust Wallet is also launching tokenized stocks and ETFs. It says CZ owned. I mean, I believe Binance owns it. But Trust Wallet self-custodial wallet, Trust Wallet self-custodial wallet rolled out RWA support in collaboration with Ondo Finance and 1inch, initially available on Ethereum. So basically what this is saying is that Binance and CZ and Trust Wallet, they're supporting the same. You can now trade stocks on the Trust Wallet through the Ethereum blockchain. So really interesting stuff. Everything's just getting more buttoned up, more professional constantly. Figure Technology seeks $4 billion valuation at public listing as crypto IPO wave builds. Figure eyes a $526 million IPO joining Circle, Bullish, and Gemini in the growing wave of blockchain companies going public. And we've got another one going public. Trump-linked American Bitcoin, the ticker on the stock market is ABTC, soared 60% and targets a $2.1 billion share sale. $2.1 billion share sale after NASDAQ debut. So there you go. You got Eric Trump talking in Wyoming. I guess that would be at the Jackson Hole Symposium. I guess that's SALT. I guess that's maybe a little crypto conference they have there within that. But they did complete a merger with Griffin Digital Mining. And I think it said something about HUT, which is another, is this the one that said it? Yeah. It's the latest chapter in American Bitcoin's rapid formation, which began in March through a combination of the Trump brothers' American data centers and Canadian mining firm Hut 8. Hut, that's a major mining company. It's a major stock on the stock market. In the world of crypto, it's major. And now Hut 8 owns 80% ownership stake in the newly listed entity. So very interesting stuff going on across the wall, or across the board. Across the wall. What am I? 2016 Donald Trump? Is that who I am now? It's a wall. It's a big, beautiful wall. I guess I have to keep going after that. So, all right, let's go back and let's check out what's going on with Bitcoin on the charts. Again, we're going to look at Ethereum here in a second. It's at 109,525. I think I'm up like $75 now on my trade. Let's see, $100. That's big. I'm only on 3x. I'm not doing more than 3x. That's my tops now. I'm going to actually do this smarter than I did before. You guys make sure to sign up for Phemex if you haven't done so yet. So we've looked at Bitcoin a pretty good bit. Let's look at Ethereum. See what's going on with it. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Okay, let's call this over here. Okay, so Ethereum, I don't have any lines drawn here for Ethereum. This would be an interesting one to draw. It would be from here. Nope. Right there, yeah. And look at that. That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good. I think this is a pretty strong line right here you could draw. And then here, have another line right there. It's just more support showing that there very easily could be a breakout here on Bitcoin, but on Ethereum, we don't quite have the same action as it is below that line here. This one is just a triangle, I think. I'm trying to get better at knowing my formations. It's something I never really cared about, but I do care about it now. So it's something I'm trying to do. So, and right now we're on regular candles. If you put on Heikenhaus Shees, you can see still Ethereum when Ethereum underperforms, or when Ethereum is going down and it's outperforming what Bitcoin is going down, which has been mostly for this bull run, it just tells me that we're all being squeezed, and at some point the price is going to come way up. So let's look at the daily chart and see if we've got any big green dots. No, still in the money flow. If you look at the RSI down here, it looks like it is turning up a little bit, which is good. Let's take a look at the point of control here okay, it's way down here at 2,500. I mean, look at that jump that we've had just since July. I mean, it's been good. It just hasn't been as good as Bitcoin. And this right here, we have a higher high, still have a higher high. Are we going to get a higher low? And I think that could be really important right here. And then we've got these doji candles at the end, 2 of them, as you can see, which basically means the price ain't done nothing. Price ain't done nothing. The last time we saw something like that on the daily, probably back in this range. So that's good. I mean, you just see it tightening, the range tightening where it is, tightening, tightening, tightening. So let's see if we draw some more lines here somewhere. I did not ask you anything, Siri. Why are you doing this? It's not a good line. I don't like that one. regardless, we've had some upward action, as you can see here. And then we had this is Heikin Ashi, so the red candles, you'll see the difference. Heikin Ashis, the reason why we use those is it's better at measuring trends, which is what you want to be trading. You want to be trading trends, because you can certainly have some bullish or bearish sentiments that makes you want to go one way or the other. But really using the charts is the way to do it. You got to know these formations and the candlesticks, everything they mean. The Heikin Ashi, it measures trends. The regular candles measures every candle individually. It looks at every individual trading session, like on the minute. Every single minute is its own thing. Whereas Heikin Ashi, if you go down to the minute, you'll really see a big difference here. See the difference? See the difference? See all of this red right here? We switch candles, you got a couple greens in there, but they're not positive. Everything's going down here. So that means that the trend was down, and that's the way the trend stayed, regardless of whether it had some bullish candles or not. So this works better with Market Cipher. I don't mess with the minute. But if we look at the 17-minute, it looks like on Ethereum, we're about to get a green dot. This would be a large green dot that we would be getting. We looked at the daily for Bitcoin, and we just had one recently. There is not a large green dot on the daily for Ethereum. It just hasn't had the success that Bitcoin has had. But if we go back and we look at some other time frames, 4 hour, and it's still going down, but that 17-minute looking like it's getting ready to turn. So in the short term, we'll probably have a little bit of upwards action, and then we'll have to see where it goes from there. If you look at this, if you look at the 30-minute chart and you go back, you've got to go all the way back to the last time we had two big green dots to find the RSI lower. The RSI has not been below our zero line here in a long time, long time. So remember that. So yeah, I mean, my gosh, all the bullishness. So anyways, a big decline yesterday on the RSI, as you can see here, along with a small red dot. This is on the 30-minute chart. So, we don't necessarily want to 100% go off this, but I think we're finally getting to a point where our boring range is going to be higher than it was. I think it still might be boring for a little bit longer until we get the rate cut from the Fed, but I think we're definitely going to get that. So let's get out of here. Let's go over to the comments here, see what's going on here. We got 2,400 people watching, definitely. With 166 out or 166 ETH bridged into ETH, maybe when Richard Hart flips his ETH into Pulse Chain, it's when we get to top. I don't think that's going to happen. So, oh my gosh, guys, did I not have this up? Wow. Guys, I forgot to put the screen up. That's why I should check. Okay, can't see the chart. If y'all could see the chart, think about what a great stream this would have been. This would have been really, really good. But the good news is now I can show it to you again, I think. I remember clicking off or something, and I don't remember why I did that. I might as well just keep it up all the time. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the Heikin Ashi candles. I was basically showing how this measures the trends and the regular, like you may get green, not that one. But you may get some green, and it still is going to be in a downtrend. So if we go back to there it is. You can see like the last one is a green candle. The last, I'm brand new to doing this live streaming stuff, guys. I'm brand new to doing it all by myself, anyways. So we've got a green one. You go to the Heikin Ashi, and you see it's still red because the trend is still down. But this trend, I think, is one that on the 30-minute chart, I feel like we're probably going to get a bounce soon. It could come down to the $4,200 level. I mean, it certainly could do that. There's a lot of support there if you go back and look a little further at the chart. But I guess you guys probably want to see the longer time frames at this point. So this is the daily with Ethereum. Man, yeah, that was, I tell you, it was a clown show when I didn't have any of this up. I've been trying to figure out how to make the show a little bit longer. So what I'll do is I'll just run through the whole thing. And then when I'm done, I'll pull the screen up so everybody can see. So I hope you guys saw everything but the charts. And I think that was correct. But let's look at the 4 hour here on Ethereum. This is one I'm looking to see. Maybe it's going to have a bounce here. It should get back up to 4,500 or so, I believe. The point of control right now with what we're looking at is at 4,300, and it's at 4,312. We are right at the control point right now, and because things have been bearish ever since last night, it leads me to believe that today we're probably going to get a bounce at some point. We looked at a lot of the reasons to do with all the options and the calls and the puts and all that stuff, the institutional numbers that matter. But when you're looking at the charts that matter, these don't, you have to look at a chart for what it is. You can't look at a chart and say, oh, this happened, so that obviously happened on the chart. It's the chart almost always bakes in what's about to happen. It knows because of the selling action. And you have to remember that the institutions are smarter than us. And they have better trading tools than we do. Even though Market Cipher is a beast, they're able to look at data that we can't see. That American Bitcoin data center, that's going to be really interesting to see what deals they work out. Maybe with some of the public companies and stuff like that. It might be really interesting. But I think right here we could see a little bit of a breakout for Ethereum. We have not looked at Bitcoin with the screen being shown. So I will go back to that. Let's see here. Interesting. The Bitcoin's got a much smoother RSI. It is not, it doesn't look like it's necessarily about to go down like the other one does. The VWAP, maybe that's about to turn, maybe right here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Point of control right here is at 12.8. That would be nice. But you can just look and you can see the trading range in between 114,000 and 108,000. I mean, that's really what we're looking at here. And then you go up here and you look, I told you that 18,000 is so important. 18,000 is right here, or 118,000, excuse me. I mean, you can see there's a lot of, there's a very large sell wall there, kind of, if you think of it in terms of a sell wall. So Cowboys cover tonight? Oh man, we're gonna talk football for 1 second, maybe. What are they? Man, the Cowboys are a mess, actually. I don't know what the spread is. Let me see what the spread is. We'll take a look real quick. See the spread. Cowboys versus Eagles. Eagles line. Eight and a half. 8.5. Man, 8.5. I tell you, I would take the under on the points. I take the under on the points for sure. 47.5. Usually, a lot of times in the beginning of seasons, the teams are just getting everything together. They're not gelling right, and you start to see, just like we saw in college football, scores much lower than people would have expected. A lot of 0-0 first quarters, and so for that reason and that reason alone, I would take the Cowboys and the points on this. It'll probably be a one possession game, and the Cowboys will lose. That's probably what will happen. Okay, what is up? We got people in here. If Cowboys cover, you might as well bet on the over. Yes, there you go. I would take both. That's what I would do. I would take both. So, and what's up to all my mods, of course. Thank you for jumping back in. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Maybe, or do people like this? People do not like me talking about sports. We just went down. This is probably the end of the stream, guys. We just hit a peak. We peaked and we went down when we were talking about sports. Really sorry. Sorry that I did so much talking without the chart being up there. It definitely won't happen again. And I appreciate everybody. That's all I got. Be blessed. Oh, yeah.